You're lying in bed, lights off, phone hovering way too close to your face. You tell yourself you're not checking again. You already checked tonight. Twice. But you open the app anyway. And there it is. 2, 0, 0, 0, 0. $20,000. Not rich. Not retire early. But enough that your chest does something weird. For the first time in a long time, you're not doing math in your head about what happens if something goes wrong. You don't feel excited. You feel quiet. Like the background noise finally shut up. You think, okay, this is different. Life is about to get easier. And for a brief moment, it is. Then the system notices. Your bank suddenly wants to help. Your app suggests optimizing idle cash. Your credit card reminds you how responsible you've been by raising your limit. Your brain joins in. I've been careful long enough. I can finally upgrade. I deserve to enjoy this. And that's the catch. Because $20,000 can change your money stress forever. But only if you understand this part. Hitting the number feels like the win. But that's when the rules quietly change. And most people slowly give it back. Here's the uncomfortable truth. $20,000 is not a lot of money. And it's also everything. It's the difference between panic and pause. Between reacting and choosing. Between every problem feeling like an emergency and just being a problem. But most people treat $20,000 like a finish line. Celebrate. Exhale. Relax the rules. And then wonder why the stress creeps back. Think of it like a roller coaster. The climb is brutal. Every dollar feels heavy. Every setback hurts more than it should. You hit the top, $20,000, and think, finally, I'm safe. But the real danger is the drop right after, because pressure was doing more work than you realized. According to the Federal Reserve, over half of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency without borrowing, even among people with decent incomes. So if you've never felt truly safe with money, that's not a personal failure. That's the system working as designed. You're not broken. You're average. The system doesn't want you desperate forever. It wants you comfortable enough to say yes. And $20,000 is exactly that danger zone. If you're new here, my name is Anrez. I'm obsessed with how money actually works, not how it's marketed, not how gurus hype it, and definitely not how banks want you to feel about it. Quick disclaimer before we keep going. This is education and entertainment only. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Talk to a qualified professional before making major money decisions. All right, let's talk about what actually changes and what quietly tries to take it away. There are two phases no one explains. Phase 1, the grind to $20,000. Phase 2, the emotional shift. Phase 1 is loud. You're budgeting, saying no, second-guessing every purchase. Scarcity is exhausting, but it protects you. Phase 2 is quiet and expensive because once you have $20,000, something flips. You stop asking, can I survive this? And start asking, is this worth it? That's powerful and dangerous. This is where the traps show up. The bank calls it idle cash. The apps call it optimization. Credit calls it unused capacity. You call it earned. And you're not wrong. But here's the rich tax no one calls a tax. Rewards for stability. Higher limits. Better offers. More opportunities. The system stops blocking you and starts inviting you. And after years of scarcity, every invitation feels justified. I've earned this. I'm different now. I won't mess this up. That's not arrogance. That's human. But without rules, $20,000 becomes a revolving door. Let's make this boring, because boring is what works. $20,000 isn't magic because of the number. It's magic because of what it prevents. No high-interest debt. No panic selling. No emergency becoming catastrophe. If that $20,000 just sits there as your floor, you stop making fear-based decisions. Now layer on growth. Say you invest just $500 a month from that point forward, at a modest 7% return over 20 years. That's over $260,000. Not because you're brilliant, because time is boring and relentless. Vanguard reports the average investor underperforms the market by 1 to 2% per year, mostly due to behavior. Checking too often, panicking, over-tweaking. The people who in long-term aren't aggressive. They're calm, and calm comes from having a floor. Let me tell you about Alex and Jordan. Same income, same goal. Both hit $20,000. Alex celebrates, upgrades the apartment, takes the nicer trip, keeps the same spending habits, just nicer ones. No rules, just vibes. A year later, Alex still makes good money and somehow feels just as stressed. Jordan does something boring. Jordan declares, this is a floor. That $20,000 does not get touched for lifestyle. It exists to remove fear. Jordan automates investing, caps spending increases, deletes the finance apps. 5 years later, Alex is still chasing comfort. Jordan has margin. 10 years later, Alex feels unlucky. Jordan has options, not yachts. Options. Fidelity data shows investors who automate and avoid frequent checking significantly outperform those who don't. Even with identical income, it's not intelligence. It's structure. Here's a simple playbook. No hype. No guilt. 1. Declare the floor. $20,000 is not spending money. It's stress insurance. 2. Separate growth from safety. Emergency fund stays boring. Investments take risk. 3. Automate everything. Decisions are where emotions sneak in. 4. Cap lifestyle creep. Upgrade should be intentional, not automatic. 5. Be suspicious of excitement. If an app is thrilled to sell you something, pause. Money isn't about stuff. It's about options. The real catch? Most people celebrate hitting $20,000 and never protect what it actually gives them. Protect your first $20,000 like it's the floor, not the finish line. Because once you do that, the stress doesn't come back. See you next time.